Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sean Bland. I'm the District Public Relations Director for the 7th District. And tonight I have the honor of talking to Brother Grand, Caleb Love, who is the 2nd Vice Grand Basileus, and Brother Timothy Merrick, who has an interesting story because you may look at him and think that he isn't high on the totem pole, but this young brother is a brilliant individual and works for NASA. There's a story behind that. And our goal tonight is just to highlight the young brothers and get some opinions and some ideas from them. As you saw in the situation, pondering the future of Omega. I'm a big fan of undergraduates. If you know anything about Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, we were founded by 3 undergraduates and a graduate advisor. An advisor. And it's important to me to hear what the future of Omega has to say and what they think currently about the path that Omega is going. But it would be wrong if we didn't at least start by formally introducing these individuals. So, Brother Grand, I'd like to, I like saying that. You've been cool. We've known each other since
Yes,
you have
sir.
been voted in the office, and I was on the call when you did your presentation to all the undergrads and the undergraduate caucus. But I've always been impressed with your enthusiasm. I guess the world needs to kind of see your enthusiasm a little bit now. So why don't you start off by giving your tag in your true fashion, and then also telling us what you do in Omega in that particular position.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Caleb Love, 117, Upsilon Theta, 46 second vice grand bosses. So I am currently the 46 second vice grand bosses. I go to Lamar University in Beaumont, Texas. I'm an education major with a science concentration, and I'm also the Student Government Association Senator for the College of Education and Human Development.
So, one of the educated brothers. I like that. I like that. And tell us a little bit about what the 2nd Vice Grand Basileus is for those that may be tuning in right now that think that I don't even know how to spell that word Basileus doesn't make any sense to them, or that title doesn't make any sense to them. Tell us a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir. So the 2nd Vice Grand Basileus is the highest undergraduate brother in the fraternity. So I'm the 3rd highest in the entire fraternity, and I'm the governing officer of the undergraduate body.
The big cheese number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we're gonna get into your background and story a little bit more as we get a little further. But I now want to bring forth Brother Timothy Merrick. Brother Merrick, why don't you give us your tag in true and due fashion?
Tim, Deuce Dog, Fall 18, Notorious Dog, Town of Kyle, States Bros.
Now, my son, who's 18 also, Daniel Bland, says that 18 saved a frat.
Wow.
What's up with that? I don't understand that.
For sure. 18 brought the frat back to life. Community service, good grades, you feel me? Uplift.
Well, 92 is that year, so we won't even talk about that right now. Okay, we'll get into that off camera. We'll go off. So, guys, let's start off a little bit with you first, Caleb. I know that you've dealt with a lot of business with the fraternity, and you've been busy, kind of understanding everything that the fraternity does. What have you found to be something? I mean, what have you found that the fraternities get engaged in right now overall that you've been impressed with?
So more recently, I've been impressed with just the mentorship part of the fraternity. So you have undergraduate brothers and graduate brothers all around that are always willing to extend a helping hand. But just more recently, as of gaining my position and just learning my position in different ways, a lot of brothers have just took out their time, especially you, brother Brian. You're one of them. They just take out the time to actually, really make sure that you understanding things. Make sure if you need any help with any situations, that you have that support, you have that assistance. And also, one of the things that we're doing now is just making sure the undergraduate brothers are getting passports. So we started this process with the Moses C. Norman Leadership Conference and the Undergraduate Summit being in the Bahamas. And even though it's canceled, we still are pursuing. We're still, encouraging brothers to still get their passports, because this is something that you can use even outside of the fraternity, because you never know when you may need to travel in the future, or you may need to do anything on business, and you need to have these type of documents on hand. So just using the fraternity as an outlet to promote these type of things that we should kind of already do, is just one of the is very helpful.
Have you seen a lot of the what do you call it, in reinvestment in the fraternity as far as the undergraduate brothers through scholarships and different things of that nature?
Oh yes,
I
sir.
know
Yes,
I know you've kind of been involved at the higher level of seeing all the money that's gone out to various undergraduates to keep their education going.
yes, sir. So actually, one of my profile, my chapter brother, he ended up winning the ninth district scholar of the year, and he ended up getting some money on an international level from just having good grades. We our chapter ended up receiving accolades and some funds as well for being the social action chapter of the year. So we're seeing, it's crazy because this year has been a very eye-opening experience, as far as just seeing how enthused the frat is about, giving back to the bloodline of the fraternity.
All right, so we're gonna get into y'all asking each other questions and all of that in a few minutes, but I know that that's a major part of your life right now is Omega Psi Phi, as far as the business side of it, along with the social side. But I know you get heavily involved in the business of the frat and everything else. But I want to kind of get a little background on Brother Merrick. Brother Merrick, I know your family, so I decided that I would pull you in because you are unique. And what do I mean by unique? Tell me a little bit about your background, if you don't mind, sir.
So I come from a small city in Florida called Oak Hill. It's on the East Coast. Growing up, family life, you feel me? I'm actually a legacy. So my pops, he the bros, my uncle, he the bros. And through my life, they never tried to force anything on me. They never tried to tell me, "Oh, you got to do this frat, you got to do this frat, or whatnot." They just showed me through their leadership and mentorship, just all the great things all the great qualities that the bros possess. Um,
You know that
the,
that's called brainwashing, right?
that ain't brainwash.
The old bros, we do brainwashing still, dog.
Hey, call it what you want, but whatever
Okay.
whatever they showed me, that's what I wanted.
Okay,
Mhm.
I just thought I'd throw
So,
that in there. Go ahead.
yeah, but college I went to UCF where I pursued a degree in mechanical engineering and 5-year degree. Joined this fraternity going into my senior year, and it is what they say. You get out what you put in. You can't go in expecting to get just having parties, the girls, and all that. You go in and get more. You get lifetime friendships, mentorships, brothers, all that. So I graduated. I actually got my job and that's where I'm currently employed with a little assistance from the bros. So going out of college, everybody nervous where you're gonna get that first job at. You're gonna get a job straight out. You're gonna be sitting on the couch for 6 months, a year sometimes. But I was fortunate. I had a couple offers lined up. One,
Oh, we lost him. What happened? Okay. Well, Brother Love, we'll keep on till we get back. What what have you noticed to be some of the things that have um, been I guess what have been some of the experiences that you kind of cherish in Omega so far? And I know we're only talking about what 3 or 4 years so far, but you've had a lot of accomplishments in that short period of time. So what are some of those things that you find to be cherished or things that you kind of hold on to even up until this point?
I would say my first undergraduate summit, my first international undergraduate summit. I crossed in December, and we was at the summit by January. So I was maybe a month or so offline, off the sands, and it was just an amazing experience because that was the first time I ever traveled out of the state of Texas. So just to be able to use the fraternity as an outlet to have a leadership conference and also fellowship with other brothers around the world, and it was just an amazing experience. Like the entire experience was unforgettable, and it was just it's from everything from the actual the information that we got from the actual summit, learning protocol, learning more about the fraternity, the fellowship, being up all night every night, and still being back into the meetings in the morning. It was just it was an amazing experience. And also the clave, I know the clave in 2018 in New Orleans, watching the sunrise on Bourbon Street every night, and being in the morning, being in a meeting at 7:30 in the morning, and taking a shower and getting dressed in 10 minutes in between. It's yeah, ultimately it led to me being in the position that I am now, because I a lot of the brothers that I still encounter with to this day, I met on that trip, and it was just we drove 14 hours from Dallas, um, and it was amazing. It was amazing. It was we drove on a flat tire for an hour and took a picture next to just the rim after we got there, and we didn't even know it was on a flat tire. It was just it was crazy. It was an amazing trip. So some of the road trips, the amazing friendships that I've made within these last 2 or 3 years, um, just from you can be, and it's crazy. That's why I love this fraternity so much, because it's crazy how you can meet a brother for a weekend. You can enjoy some time with him for a weekend, and that could be a friend for life. Like you can literally call that brother at any time throughout the year, like, hey, team, you was just on my mind, like, and it just really goes a long way. Like, so a lot of the friendships that you make, a lot of the people that you meet, like, you never know when you may run into them again, when you may be in the airport and you just may happen to bump into the team. It's like it's crazy, and I'll be going somewhere sometimes. Like, I remember one time I was traveling in the airport, and I was with my mother, and I saw a brother that I met in New Jersey at Atlantic City for the leadership conference, and when we seen each other, we just when we gripped each other up, it was like we climbed on top of each other. And my mom was like, "How long have you been knowing him?" And I was like, "Well, I met him, a few months ago, and we only spent, a weekend together. But you would have thought we were friends for life." And that's just because now we are. And
Right.
that's just one of the amazing perks of being in such a great fraternity, where friendship is essential to the soul.
Now, Tim, I noticed you're back. I know that there's a lot going on in the area that you're in, but tell me a little bit about how you specifically ended up at NASA. I think that's kind of where you had left off. And,
Yeah.
and let's go into afterwards. We'll talk to both of you about some of the things that the fraternity does as far as your experiences with the last election and social justice. So go ahead, and Tim, and tell us a little bit about how you ended up at NASA.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had Wi-Fi issues, but yeah. So I graduated, like I said, and I had one offer on the table, and it they wouldn't give me what I was worth. So I was about to accept it, but then I actually knew one of the brothers at the Space Center, and he happened to be my uncle. And I applied and I applied and I applied. All he told me, he said, keep applying, keep applying, keep applying. I kept applying. Like every other week I'm talking. And one day I finally got a message back saying, your interview is set up for this Monday. Can you make it? And I was like, in a heartbeat, yes, because I knew as soon as I got the opportunity, it was gonna be mine.
So real quick now, just so that I can give you a hard time on live situation.
For sure.
What year was this uncle that you were talking about?
92, bro. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just curious. I mean, I ain't want to cause no problems in that. And he told me to do what? Hold on, right?
Yes, sir.
And keep doing the applying, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just wanted to remind you that year was encouraging you to do what you did.
Yeah, 92 definitely a close second to 18, but we'll talk about that
Okay.
later.
Just a close second. Okay.
It's crazy because Brother Bland, I got some. My father is 92, spring 92, Alpha Psi.
That is. All right. Well, let's let Tim finish and then we'll talk about the greatness of 92 later on. But go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, so I knew as soon as I got the opportunity, I was gonna nail it. So got with a couple of the brothers. My uncle, first of all, since he worked down there. And honestly, it's like I think it's about 5 or 6 brothers out there. So I started hitting them up one by one. What do you think I could do to prepare? Started training right in front of them, interviewing. They kept telling me what to improve on. Well, day of the interview, I ain't had no worries. I was prepared, ready for every question. Went in there, felt confident walking out, and look and behold, I got a call back and a job offer, and I couldn't turn it down. And it was giving me what I was worth. So big plus. For sure.
That's big with you right now, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't mad at you. Now,
you gotta know your worth.
Tell them specifically what you do. I messed with you earlier and said that you do you're like a Lego man with spaceships, and you know that wasn't really what you do, but I just gave you a hard time about that. But tell them what you actually do.
I mean, to be honest, that ain't a bad analogy. You feel me?
I know, but we can't tell them that.
Yeah, so if you want to go that analogy route, you feel me? If you were to build a Lego made of rockets, I would be writing a manual for how to put that together. So basically what I do is so basically the rocket pieces get made all over the world, and when they get sent down to KSC, we get complicated schematics, and basically we have to interpret it so like the average person can come in and understand it. So basically I come in, I write manuals for how to put the rocket pieces together for our technicians to put together. And then when we actually get the pieces, I'm out on the floor actually directing them. This piece goes here, this piece goes here. And if they have any questions, any problems come up, I can go through and change the paper, change everything I wrote, because I'm the one that put the directions together. I'm the one that know how to fix the problem. So
you is the man. So when they sitting on the rocket, you help put that rocket together pretty much.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. And
putting heavy stuff from a young brother. Heavy stuff from a young brother.
Right, and it's supposed to be the biggest rocket in history. Like this one going past the moon, which no one's ever done before. So it's some great stuff. It's called Artemis 1.
Artemis 1.
You gonna hear about it? We're gonna be.
And it's always gonna be televised live when it finally gets completed. It's gonna be and then you'll be sitting there, and I'll be like, I know the brother helped put that together. Anyway, so all right, let's talk a little bit more about what you've experienced as far as social justice, because I think during your time, being in school was hard enough with the pandemic, and actually, Merrick, you got out before the pandemic, right?
Yeah, I was for sure out before.
Yeah. So, but with the pandemic and with everything that's going on, how do y'all survive as young brothers right now? I mean, you got politics, you got pandemic, you got social justice. What do you see as some of the things that even Omega needs to be leading in? Because that's what we're going to do. But what do you guys see as the way forward for Omega to help you guys succeed?
So I'll start with the good things we're doing now, and then move forward to what we can improve on. I'll say, especially for my my undergrad chapter, it'd be easy, like, bruh, not to be on your yard just because you can't have no events on campus and none of that. But honestly, like, this pandemic started bringing some of us closer. Instead of meeting up every day, you would expect everybody to just disconnect. But nah, bruh, still getting together when they can. Obviously staying safe. Still organizing events. Yeah, for sure. Because this pandemic is something serious to take serious. But bruh, still organizing events safely. For example, book drives. Like back to school, giving out backpacks. Bruh, volunteer at the Y. Obviously, you can't play with the kids as much as you would like to. We did a Christmas drive. Couldn't let the kids open their toys and play with them, but it's still that aspect of giving back, doing community service. bruh still staying active, like I said, still meeting up, still staying active in chats, still uplifting bruh. You know, people losing jobs out here. This thing's something serious to take. And when you have people on your side having your back, it's always a great thing. I would say one thing bros could do better is probably show our voice as far as like speaking more up on the political injustice out here, because it is something serious to take, and also doing it in a positive way and not being violent. Because every time you wear this shirt, you reflect the whole fraternity, not just yourself. So you gotta realize your impact is more than you, and speak positively. Like for example, bros during a riots down in Orlando, bros will go down there and clean up the mess. Obviously, some people have negative opinions towards that, but we trying to affect the world in a positive way. We don't want to see stuff out here getting torn up, because this is our place. We live here too. But overall, I think brothers can do a better job just voicing our opinion, because we all have opinions. We just have to speak up and let it be known.
Okay. Brother Grand, same situation. And you're
Okay.
actually in school, so you have a little bit different of a perspective right now. So tell us what's going on.
So actually, from my perspective, this has been a social awakening, I would say. I feel like, and not I feel, but I actually orchestrated a protest when the George Floyd protests were going on. I orchestrated my own protest in Dallas. We started with maybe 34 participants, and it grew to over 500. I feel like brothers have been doing a great job as far as just kind of being productive, staying proactive. With Brother Grand Marion being the head of the MPAC, being the MPAC chair, he kind of orchestrated, making sure that our main focus when we got into our positions were elections, making sure that people were actually going out and voting. This year was one of the biggest years as far as for minorities. Actually voting. So and not even just minorities, but youth from 25 and under, they had a spike as far as voting for the first time or just letting their voice be heard. Brother Crump is, he's on the forefront with
Just him right now, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Brother Crump is on the forefront with every type of social injustice. If you follow his page, every day he's updating you on maybe cases that he may be working on, or just different videos and clips of different social injustice being exposed. So I feel like just with the advancement of technology and just the pandemic and everyone just being kind of consumed in content over social media, I feel like we've actually exposed a lot of these injustices and kind of we're starting to get more to the crux of what the real problem is. So I feel very confident as far as what the future holds, just because this has been a very enlightening moment for just the brothers to actually, see how important it is to let their voices be heard and actually vocalize their opinions in a positive and a productive manner.
So I know that each of you have had somebody that has been instrumental in your life in Omega. Caleb, you've had an individual or two that have kind of directed your path, been there for you, or whatever. Merrick, we ain't going into your situation, but I just want you to just take a moment to express to people who either are considering being an Omega or are earlier in their years in Omega still, who is that person or a couple of people that influenced you early in Omega or early in your life? I mean, in some cases, you may have even been touched by Omega early in your life. Tell us who that is, and then tell us how they had that impact to get you to where you are today. Let me end with the Grand. Let me go ahead and get you, Brother Merrick, right quick, and get you started.
So I'll say I guess I was lucky to be raised by one, and my second was an uncle. So I would say my two biggest influences are my dad and my uncle. And like I said, they never try to force anything on me. But my dad, just growing up, great father, coached every one of my games, always there, always supportive. You feel me? I know I'm blessed for that. He led by example. His work ethic is crazy. He always uplifting his surrounding peers. No problem too big for him. He'll go to work at 7 a.m., come back at 9 p.m. And it's just like I look at him every day. Like sometimes I work out with dude, and he'll be in there studying for 2 hours straight in the middle of a workout. So that kind of like pushed me. Like ain't no problem too big for me to overcome. I can persevere through anything I set my mind to, and that's one thing he taught me. My uncle, I would say, he's different. He a different breed. He teach you. He done taught me how to deal with a lot of issues that come up. A lot of interpersonal skills. You feel me? Dealing with different people. Influenced me that there's bigger in life than what I'm doing now. Even though I have a good life now, my life can always be better, and always never strive for where you're at now. Never be content. Always strive for greater, because eventually you gonna have kids of your own looking up to you. You got peers looking up to you, and I saw how I looked up to them and my peers, my frat brothers, my cousins, my brothers, my sisters, the people all around me. I always encourage them to keep pushing forward. You know, never be content where you at. They'll look at me and be like, "Oh, you big money, you in Nassau." I'm like, "Nah, this ain't the end for me. This is the beginning." You feel me? I just want to keep going up the ladder, and I just keep trying to inspire them. You can do better. Even if you like your job right now, you can make an extra $1 an hour. You can make an extra $2 an hour. You can bring somebody else up with you. So I take a lot of the things they showed me throughout my life and just apply them moving forward.
So before we go to Brother Grant, let me just ask you one last piece, and Brother Grant, you can end with this also. What would you tell the younger bros or the individuals that are coming behind you? What little small one piece of information would you, even in your young career and young Omega life, what would you tell them to try and get them to be inspired to get to the next level?
I would tell them, one, keep using your resources. Like, you never know what one connection gonna get you. You could talk to one person that introduce you to another person, they can get you your dream job. You could, you feel me, one day be at NASA. You can one day be running NASA just by knowing people. And I learned that also at my job. Like, you gotta talk to people. You gotta get to know people. You gotta keep expanding your knowledge, your knowledge base, and keep pushing forward. Never give up. Like, always believe in yourself. Because one thing for sure, you might think you unqualified for something right now, but if you put your mind to it, you can keep it pushing. So I think the one piece I would take out is just take advantage of your resources, because you never know where that one thing can get you, or that one person can get you, that one conversation.
All right.
That was real. That's out. That's out.
For sure.
Wow, Brother Grant said that's out. I like this. This is
Man,
truly a young bro situation, right?
Hey, that's a big time compliment right now.
I know, right? You know, so all right, Brother Grant, real quick. Well, not real quick, but just give us your two, how they influenced you, and then do like Brother Merrick did. Take us home with that last piece of information you would want to give somebody to motivate them and to get them to that high level like you've attained.
Yes, sir. So I would say the first of my two people would be in '92, bro. My father. My father, he was just the biggest influence on my life as a whole. Just because he never took no for an answer, but he always was just a genuine person. He was the most genuine person you can ever meet. And I was the best man in my father's wedding at 9 years old. I remember this day very vividly because I'll never forget it. It was the reason that I wanted to become an Omega. And it was the part to where at the reception, it was maybe 30 to 40 bros at the wedding, but you know, the bros don't come to the party. So it was about 80 to 100 bros at the party at the wedding. And you know, they had us in the circle, and it was my father, my stepmother, and all of my dad's kids. My dad got 5 kids. And we were all in a circle, and you know, we sung Omega Dear at the wedding because the bros don't know the Sweetheart song, and they and, and so they sung Omega Dear though, and I remember being 9 years old, and I cried, and I didn't know what the reason for me crying was, but I just knew I felt it, like I
It was
felt it,
deep.
and
You felt it being deep.
it was yes sir, and I and just looking around the room, like as they were singing, it's nothing like you know real men, like men's men, like you know, like and you could tell it was different men from different walks of life. Some bros had on tuxes, some bros had on sweatpants and joggers, and it was just like, but they were singing from their soul. You can tell it came from a place of love and little pain. You know, you could just hear a little pain in it too. So it was just it was a moment I'll never forget. And then right after they sung the song, they dropped the dog, and the same people that were just singing so gracefully and elegantly were just hopping all over the place. And it was just like I remember being 9 years old, looking around like whatever this is, I want to do that. Like you know, so just my father's work ethic, you know, just being a father to five kids, having three different you know baby mothers, and still making it work. Um, I always admired him for that, and I always commended him for that, just because he never gave up on us. He never, you know, just he never took anything other than the best for us when it came to us. So I always admired that. And then my second inspiration would be my mentor, brother Phil Merchant. Um, I met him a year after I crossed in 2018, and we met for the first time at the Clave, and we really got connected at 2019 in districts. And he just kind of taught me just not just the ins and outs of the frat, but he taught me a lot of things that you know you pay these multiple you pay these thousands of dollars at these high institutions, and they still don't teach you like how to build credit, and you know just how to make your money kind of make you some more money and different things like that. So he was always a very he taught me how to fish rather than just giving me a fish. You know, so that was I really admired that for him from him. And one of the things that I would say just to you know younger brothers or people that want to potentially be brothers, I kind of live by this quote by Zig Ziglar, and it says, if you search for a good friend, you'll find them very scarce. But if you go out and be a good friend, you will find them in everyone. And that just kind of says, you know, if you're just kind to people, if you're just nice to people and genuine to people, just because it's the right thing to do, you'd be surprised how many doors that you know the Lord just opens up for you, just because you have a genuine heart and you have a kind heart. And even if you know, even if you're the bros now and you got different people on your campus that want to be in the position that you're in, don't forget that you were in that position one day. So don't think, you know, don't get too big headed and think, you know, you've always been the person that you are. So just remember, you know, to always kind of be kind to people and always be, you know, uplifting, because you never know when you can run into people later on in life.
So before we end, I want to point out a piece of information that I'm always, you know, again, I love undergrads, and you know, they're the soul of our fraternity. It's how we began. But I wanted you, both of you have said something that was interesting, in that how you kind of your mentors kind of brought you along, and they've always kind of, in one case, they've always kind of been in your life. And I would venture to say that if you get close to an Omega man, you will be inspired. There is no pushing you to Omega at that point in time. You
Facts.
just they get into you, and they can't get out of you at that point in time, because they won't let you leave in some cases, because they want you to be better. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing that I love about what I know, in the case of Merrick, and probably with your father, you know, being not just 92, but the mindset that those individuals had, you will never be alone being in this fraternity, because we are a fraternity of friends.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
And I think that from everything I've heard of y'all and your success, Merrick, you said it when you said you got to talk to folks, you got to know folks, you got to be able to get involved with folks. The same thing with you, Caleb. You can't become second vice grand, and not talk to folks. And you know, both of you, that will serve to be huge in your careers, and it will also be the main thing that happens with you is that you're focused on giving back. So as
Yes,
a 92 bruh, that's I would say kind of, sort of, maybe, possibly proud of you at this point in time. I can't give y'all credit too much yet, right? Y'all
yes,
on
sir.
the principles, right?
Yes,
But
sir.
Fact.
you know, I need both of you to continue doing the great things that y'all are doing and give back, because that's the basic aspect of Omega is we're blessed because we can move along. But to those individuals who do not have that same support system, and to individuals that don't have that same backing, it's our responsibility to give it back to them at that point. So, any last words, or y'all ready to cut this clean and be ready to go?
I have just one last. It wasn't even necessarily. It's just a comment. First, I would like to thank you, Brother Bland, just for putting this together. I would like to thank you, Brother Merrick, for hopping on. That was
Yeah.
this is a real important time. I just wanted to say, March 6th, we have a credit seminar. It started generally for the undergraduate brothers, but even if you're a graduate brother, I still, would encourage you to please hop on. We have one of our partnering companies, Regions Bank. They'll be giving a presentation over just how to build credit after you graduate, how to maintain your credit, and just so you can learn how to use credit for a benefit and learn how to use it to work for you rather than getting drowned in it at an earlier age. So I just wanted to, add that announcement.
Where can they find that information?
So we have a link. It's a registration link. I sent it to all the second vice DRs, but I'll also be doing a mass email blast as well to all the brothers. So we can
Send it to me, and I'll put it on our 7th district post and try and see if we can get some folks involved.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Well, Brother Grand, Brother Merrick, again,
I'll comment real quick.
Okay, no problem.
I wanna second what Brother Love said, because credit is very important. You gotta have your credit together if you want to get a house, you want to get a car, anything you don't have the money you'll bank for now, you need credit. So please attend that seminar he's talking about. Also, I want to thank you, Brother Bland, for putting it together. It's an honor. You too, Brother Love. It's a blessing to be in y'all presence of greatness. I see it. And root to the brothers.
Young brother Love right there. Oh.
For sure.
All right, so real quick, let me just say this. We will continue to do this series of discussions. Y'all keep doing, like I said earlier, keep doing well. And we appreciate y'all coming on and helping the brothers. And I guess to help with what Brother Grand Love said earlier, bad credit is universal. You have to work at good credit. So you start at potentially bad credit and you have to work up to good credit. So if you want to get a little bit better and stay out of the universe of bad credit, you may want to attend some type of credit seminar. So just to kind of add a little bit in on that. So thank y'all, and I appreciate y'all for signing on, and that will do us for tonight. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen.
So, root to the brothers.